Has it seriously been a whole week since we last spoke? Hi. So, been at the hospital today with my son. Full disclaimer, my son is 34, not 5. So, it's difficult. It's so hard because when the doctors are talking and coming up with all these different solutions, possible scenarios, this could be wrong, that could be wrong, and I'm sort of sat there asking questions, and while they're prodding about in his eye socket, putting different drops in, it's really hard because I agreed with everything except for one thing. As soon as the lady said it, it's like every part of me, every fibre, every cell, every hair was just dancing to attention because it felt wrong. And I don't have anything tangible to back that up yet. No, I say yet there. Don't have anything yet because I do trust my gut. And this one particular thing, so they gave him the original bag of drugs again, and there's 6 different ones, and then the eye drops as well, and the steroid eye drops. Now they gave him those, and they want him to come back in 2 weeks. The pressure in one eye was super high, so he did really well making it the 2 weeks since we last went. He did really well because he said, because of the inflammation was the issue, he said he wanted to really try and put up with the pain and get to today without anyone touching his face or touching his eye, and in particular touching his eyeball. He wanted to get to today and then go and see what it was like. But it was exactly the same. So now, the 2 doctors that we had were from the new team. Remember last time we went 2 weeks ago, we changed teams. They did seem super efficient, and they did feel, to me, really solid. But they went back further in his records, like much further than before. So when they were looking at stuff, they actually did go much further back. Sorry, I'm getting poked in the chin by this button. Yeah, so they did go further back. But the lens, the artificial lens that he's got at the front of the eye, when they put the gas bubble in on the 4th of November, they seem to have moved it. And that now is banging against the cornea, creating damage, and that's what's causing the pressure, we believe. And also the eye isn't draining by itself very well. Now this could be due to the steroid eye drops drying everything up, and then when they're wearing off, it's flooding. It could be a number of things. There's at least 17 different case scenarios with that one. But basically what they're talking about doing is we're going back on the 21st, so just before Christmas, and they're going to have a look what's happening, and they want to book him in for surgery. Now, the surgery, on the face of it, removed the damaged lens. Great. I do agree with that. And it was me that actually brought it up, aren't we, removing the lens and fixing it with laser. That was my understanding last time that we were looking at that. And because no one had mentioned it, I brought it up in the room. But then this other lady came in, this French doctor, and she was saying that she would like to insert surgically a tube under here, so under the edge of the eyeball, going into this bit here, this reservoir, to draw fluid away from the eye. And as soon as she started speaking, all my like spidey senses and mum's radar and everything was activated. And like I've come in, I haven't done anything. I've just literally Ivan pulled off my walking boots, and I have sat here, taken off these damp gloves because it is chucking it down outside. And I've sat here to gather my thoughts and speak with you. I haven't done anything else since I came in, because I wanted to get it out there fresh, my thoughts, in this like journal style vlog. I think you call these video journals, don't you? I'm 53, forgive me. Yeah, so basically that's where we're at. We're going back on the 21st of December to see how, because the inflammation has started to go down by itself, and the pressure was high, but it wasn't as high as before, so it wasn't off the charts high. It was at 44, and then the second test was 38, so the other eye is 13, so that would give you some perspective. We need it to be below 20, but it does seem to be going down by itself, because it was 67 and we got it down to 58 last time, and that was 2 weeks ago. So we're at 44 and then 38 today. So whatever it is that is getting put in, it does seem to be doing something. It's just that the lens is like freely floating in the front, and so it's bashing on the eye. But you know, like I said, my son's 34, not 5. If this was a child, I think I would be different. I know I would be different. I would be off the scale, making sure that my gut instinct and my radar was being fully taken into account, because like I can tell my son is deeply thinking about it. I spoke to him all the way home on the train, and we were very, very blessed, because we were both exhausted after such a long day. I mean, it's nearly 8 o'clock in the evening. It's well past 7. I don't even know what time it is. But it's well past 7. We've got absolutely drenched. Like, we had umbrellas. Joseph had a big umbrella, and he's you know, a good more than a foot taller than me, so it's really handy, because like I walk with my son and he's like, oh. Yeah, my walk with my giant, and it's just so lovely. We did it together, and he was so grateful. Tell you what though, there was a funny moment. I should share this funny moment with you. He had said he started to feel lightheaded, so I suggested that I go and buy a coffee. Now, we're not used to doing this, so it was like quite funny. I left him with my bag, because I had all this, I took all this knitting and stuff, like I got all this, and it was really funny. So I left him sitting there with it all on his lap, and I've walked sort of around the corner to it was on the ward, but just sort of near the entrance. I've walked out the door and I've gone in there, and I've said blank, completely blank. And I've said, what festive flavours have you got? And the first lady, she reeled off this list really quickly, like, and out of the whole thing, I caught the word gingerbread. I didn't really understand the word she was saying. I caught the word gingerbread, so I said, "Oh yeah, I think my son likes lattes. I'm not sure, but I've just walked and I've left him in the waiting room waiting, because in case they call his name, and I think we'll go with the gingerbread gingerbread latte. And she looked at me and she said, in the same cup. And this cup, I don't know why, but I had just, my brain and my mind completely abandoned me. I stood there staring again. And I was like, I don't understand. Are you asking if I want the latte in a cup and the gingerbread syrup flavour in another cup? Is that what you're asking me? Because if that is what you're asking me, no, I have it in the same cup. She then said, is medium okay? And I said, I don't know, have you got a large? And she said, no, we've only got medium. So I said, why did you ask me? And then this other woman sort of heard all this, and she took over, and it was a lot more pleasurable. But the first one asking me, like, did in the same cup, it really did throw me, because in a coffee shop, you kind of, I don't know, it was just like it just felt like a weird, surreal kind of experience. And by the time I'd gone in there, it was well after 5. And so our waters had run out ages before. And, yeah, it was kind of like a surreal day. And I just pulled this out of the bag as I was talking to you to show you. But it's part of my daughter's Angelica's Christmas present. So, but I'm dead pleased with it. Like groovy 70s vibes there. And the one I'm on at the moment is the vintage peach. She loves this colour, and she also loves green. So, yeah, exciting. And on the knitting note as well, she sent me 400 knitting stitches, because we're doing cables when she comes to stay. So that's exciting. But yeah, back to the hospital in 2 weeks. Jingle All the Way anniversary screening tomorrow. D'Artagnan, Musketeers next week, advanced screening. Yeah, my days have just been like taken up with all of this, and I must confess, starting to feel a bit run down. Before I turned on this, I said to my daughter-in-law over there, I said, do I look like hell? And she said, no. I was like, well, I've tried to stay bright all day, and now I'm ready to just but yeah, that's where we're at with the eye. He does need surgery, and it's going to be the first week in January, but we're going back in 2 weeks to have it confirmed. So that's where we're at. And it doesn't really make any difference if your child is 5 or 34. It's the same feeling of utter I so wanted this to be over for him before Christmas. I really did, because it started in May. 2024, please be kind. Please be amazing for Joseph. He deserves it, you know. And that was one more thing before I go. I actually sat up quite viciously at one point, and I started talking about his career and how many times his career's had to be put back, like this year, because of all of this. And we want an end to that, at least, so that he can just progress with his life. And I'm really glad that I got that in. Did feel quite proud of that bit. But yeah, whilst we've been talking, Harvey, my teenager, has brought me in a lovely cup of tea. I'm going to sit and drink it. It's been a very, very, very long day.